there is a poem said to kill those who read it. Such a rumor has long surrounded a poem known as Tomino's Hell. Written by the Japanese poet Saijo Yaso, this poem has often been spoken of not as literature, but as something cursed. But why did this poem come to be treated that way? And is the common belief that it is a poem about war or child soldiers really correct? In this video, we will quietly examine the rumors surrounding Tomino's Hell and look at what the poem may actually be describing. Tomino's Hell was published in 1919 in a poetry collection titled Saken Gold Dust. This collection marked an important early stage in Saijo Yaso's literary career. Later, Saijo would go on to write a wide range of works, from children's songs and popular music known to nearly every Japanese person to patriotic wartime songs. Yet among his many works, Tomino's Hell stands out as deeply unusual. It offers no clear lesson, no comfort, and no explanation. Instead, it resists interpretation, leaving behind only a lingering sense of unease. Let us briefly consider the poem itself. 姉は血を吐く、妹は火を吐く、かわいい富野は玉を吐く。一人地獄に落ちく富野、地獄暗闇花もなき。無知で叩くは富野の姉か、無知の主婦さが気にかかる。叩けや叩きゃれ叩かずとても、無限地獄は一つ道。暗い地獄へ案内を頼む、金の羊にうぐいすに。川の袋にゃいくらほど入れよ、無限地獄の旅したく。春が来てそろ林に谷に、暗い地獄だに七曲がり。かごにゃうぐいす、車にゃ羊、かわいい富野の目にゃ涙。わめけようぐいす、林の雨に、妹恋しと声限り。わめけばこ玉が地獄に響き、狐ボタンの花が咲く。地獄七山七谷巡る、かわいい富野の一人旅。地獄ござらばもてきてた漏れ、針のお山の留め針を。赤い留め針立てには刺さぬ、かわいい富野の目印に。On the surface, the poem can be read as the story of an innocent boy who falls into hell and wanders through it alone. However, this is only a surface-level reading. Whether that interpretation is truly appropriate will be addressed later. For now, let us step away from meaning and instead ask why this poem came to be known as one that kills those who read it. One figure often mentioned in this context is the playwright and poet Terayama Shuji. Terayama was deeply influenced by Saijo Yaso's work and frequently referenced it within his own creations. When Terayama died at the age of 47, some began to associate his death with Tomino's Hell. This idea was further reinforced when literary critic Yamota Inuhiko discussed the poem in terms of the curse of words. However, Terayama's actual cause of death was septicemia, largely resulting from medical misdiagnosis. To directly connect his death to a poem and label it a curse is, at best, a weak causal claim. Because of its dark and symbolic imagery, Tomino's Hell has often been interpreted as a poem about war, or even about child soldiers. Yet this interpretation raises serious historical problems. The poem was published in 1919, the year following the end of World War I. Japan, at that time, was considered a victorious nation, and its military casualties were minimal compared to other countries. There is no historical record of Japan deploying child soldiers during that war, nor was the nation facing the kind of desperation that would require it. Moreover, Saijo Yaso later wrote numerous wartime songs that celebrated bravery and national spirit. Taken together, these facts suggest that reading Tomino's Hell as an anti-war poem requires considerable caution. Other interpretations do exist. Some have read the poem as a reflection of abuse or human trafficking. Others see it as a private elegy for someone close to the poet. All of these interpretations are worthy of consideration. However, I personally view Tomino's Hell in a broader sense. To me, it depicts the moment when an innocent soul, in the process of growing up, becomes aware of the world's contradictions and cruelty. At some point, children realize that the world is not gentle, that adults are flawed, and that injustice often goes unexplained. That realization is profoundly lonely, and it must be carried alone. In this sense, Tomino's Hell may describe the moment one learns what hell feels like while still alive. Tomino's Hell is not a poem that kills its readers, nor is it a direct depiction of war. Rather, it is a poem that reflects the fears and anxieties of those who read it. Because it refuses to explain itself, readers have filled its silence with curses, wars, and rumors. Perhaps Tomino's Hell is not a story about death at all, but a mirror, one that quietly reflects the reader's own inner world.